Hey everybody!
Hello guys!
MaJeliv here. We are the Vasquez family. Welcome back to another MaJeliv video. In today's video, we are going to be continuing our journey with Andor and episode 4 of Star Wars as Andor. The 3-episode premiere was absolutely fantastic. We were extremely excited for the show. We know it was the team behind Rogue One, the writer specifically, and you know, Tony Gilroy, and we love what they're doing here. We love the new approach, the fresh take to Star Wars, and how it's at the same time, you know, adding multiple layers to this era of the Empire that we know and we're getting to know more of. So we're loving it and we're ready to jump in because this is the longest episode so far. So we're gonna jump in. We're extremely happy that you guys are joining us today. We hope you enjoy our reaction and let's do this thing. Episode 4 of Andor.
Oh, I bet you know what it's gonna say.
Andor.
Andor.
Oh, Andor, not Andor. I feel like this theme is a little bit more complete.
It's like it's...
I feel like by the end of it, it's gonna be
Oosh.
They've never shown that. Somebody just...
Yeah.
What's that? Mad Nog. Just a sip.
Mednog.
He just
Coruscant. Coruscant. What? We're back.
There's an increase in construction shipments going to Scarif, so.
Scarif.
Shaving in Star Wars.
Oh my gosh, it's the first person you see shave in the universe
Yeah.
of Star Wars. That's kind of funny.
Those shaves. Look at that.
Is that real?
Hello, Val.
We almost didn't get the message.
Oh my gosh, no.
Something I can help you with.
The next 3 days, if for any reason, look at me! You wanted to lead. This is what it comes to. This has to be your win, Val.
Dang, man.
I love the writing in this show.
Me too, dude. You can tell the passion that these people have to bring the Empire down, you know? And how dangerous it is.
But I've had nothing to do with this.
Well, exactly. Well, exactly.
It's a long walk through the night.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
How many of us are there?
Now we are 7.
7. 7 against the garbage.
Where's your wind? Get
TIE
down,
fighters, TIE
Cookie!
fighters.
Shoot. Oh my, these things are terrifying, man. That's one thing I loved about Rogue One, the horror they bring with like,
Gosh.
oh man,
Dude, this is so good.
so good.
There's 5 dead.
Oh my gosh, there's a bonsai.
Those pants are incredible.
Incredible, yeah.
And the way that they go out with the boots.
When the Empire owns a bonsai tree in their office. Whoa, that was
Wow.
satisfying. Oh, that must feel so nice.
That does feel good. I've done that.
I probably should do that more.
Not the wake. Actually, I have done that.
You have.
Huh. So there was an article that came out on the Hollywood Reporter recently about Tony Gilroy talking about the show and you know, the making of it. It's probably part of the promo, but this is now I'm seeing they were talking about this character having this duality to him. He has like 2 personalities. And that's how he blends in. You said he did this thing with his hands like he's practicing? Oh man. Such a great actor.
This feels like a shot from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
That's a vigorous look. Oh.
Whoa.
See they have like 4 horns?
Yeah.
Somebody's not there.
Yeah, there's one missing.
So much tense energy.
Yes.
It's so hard to trust anyone. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes sense. Especially when you're about to do what you're about to do. It's like,
Yeah.
see those hallways?
It looks like a Star Wars motel.
This is so cool because you never see
Be a
this.
cool concept for
Oh man.
Disney.
Oh yeah, Disney hotel.
Oh. Oh.
Character introduction.
Senator Mon Mothma's here.
Mon Mothma.
New driver.
The one and only.
Wow.
You see the ceremony?
Mandalorian armor. Trying to look around.
It's a unique gift for most, but
I'm trying to expand parents.
And it looks like Starkiller's outfit in the back. You see that? The armor? It just from the game. There's a suit that he wears. That one back there. It just doesn't.
Looking at each other so weird.
And like the Star Wars Lincoln.
Star Wars Lincoln. And Mon Mothma is so crucial to him.
He's here now? Where?
Getting cleaned up.
And we've no say in this?
Clem,
Gosh.
Oh my
we need
gosh.
another hand, and you know it.
Not right now, please. Go.
Poor.
You've invited them without making sure I was aware.
Here.
I'll do it. Let's fragile that piece. The rain gets into the glue.
The runway descends underground to the flight deck.
You can tell he made it.
Flyer runner? The box freighter?
it's not really flying. But yeah.
The Aldhanis gather in this valley for a celestial event, the Eye of Aldhani. Thousands of them.
You've seen this?
I've been here almost 7 years. I've seen it twice.
This happens in 3 days' time.
That's your car.
Are you in all the way?
Let's get to it.
Here, we act on vetted and verified information. Alert me when this materializes into something more definite. Until then, confine future activities to your sectors. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Oh gosh.
I like children.
She's like so, and she knows everything.
2 sectors. On a positive note, I was impressed with your detention numbers from Sev Top. Maybe sending more of that sort of work your way.
Thank you, sir.
We're done.
She's like seeing it all, and he's just.
Man, I love meeting those
So we're
characters.
empathizing with an Imperial officer. Good writing.
And good acting, good directing,
This
cinematography.
This episode's gonna end right before they.
We're not hearing a lot about this show because there's nothing bad to say about it.
Right.
It's just all good.
Know how to use this?
Can I eat my food?
You'll eat, you'll let Cinta check the bandage, and you'll have learned all that by morning.
Man,
That is a serious case of
it's a
cramming.
lot of homework.
Yeah. He's like 200K, 200K.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like reminding himself.
It's like calculating.
Oh, get out of here.
That's
No.
No way.
Damn, Gilroy
Oh,
wrote this one.
That's his brother, yeah.
And Tony.
Look at that. Brothers at work.
Brothers.
That's incredible, man. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
What a show.
Oh, that's
This
fantastic.
is easily one of the best things that has happened to Star Wars. There is just
So much.
there's so many
It
layers.
always leaves us so quiet.
It's
because
true.
of how like in awe we're in
Yeah.
of this show.
We obviously had some continuation of characters we saw in the other episodes. But then we also obviously got new introductions to new characters that completely command the room, like this. I don't know his official title, but the leader of those Imperial officers in the room. I mean, he has from his voice to his presence, all of it. It's just, man.
And the tension and this high stakes, like I'm feeling nervous at every turn. Like there's just so much pressure everywhere.
Yeah.
And everything that's going on both sides.
Yeah. We're really getting a lens into like what the political side would have looked like when it comes to, you know, the senators that were feeding money towards the rebellion. And it was like that. It was very underground, I'm sure. Like they had to pay these, I don't want to say nobodies, but just kind of like settlers on certain planets, super underground. That way there's hardly any connection to the people that were funding all of it until it became such a powerful force. And then obviously it all leads to what we know. But it's just such a great, it's really already, it's elevating Rogue One and that story and those characters. And I'm just loving watching Andor journey, kind of just riding the wave. He's like,
There's an instinct in him that's telling him that there's something else at work here, and he kept asking Luthen, "Well, what's the important thing? Like, what are you guys up to? What are you doing?"
And it's fascinating too how he's gonna learn how to, you know, do something that, you know, he usually does by himself with more than one person.
Which is always so hard.
Yeah, for him being solo for so long, and now he's gonna, you know, join this team.
Right.
It's funny because you can just see him like adjusting.
Yeah.
He's not used to being around a crowd of people who are doing the same thing he's doing. So it's very fascinating. He almost seems like the outsider of it, kind of, and none of them really like him fully because they don't fully trust him.
Right.
Man, the senator too. She's.
She was fantastic. She was amazing.
Like I said, there's just so many people putting themselves out there, putting themselves on the line at risk. It's scary. I'm like, I just want to know what happens.
Sometimes when you're focusing on the Jedis, like when we first were introduced to the Empire, it's very easy to dumb down, I think, the threat that they were because Jedis were so powerful.
Yeah.
But when you see the real people who had to struggle with it, people working on the side of the Empire, the people working against them, like it was a lot of a bigger threat than we realized. So it's almost like also shows how powerful the Jedis were. But I just love this point of view.
That's the great gift of this show, Jemmy. I want to add to what you said. There's a sense of relatability to these characters. I mean, we love Jedis. We always we want to imagine we're Jedis and all that. But there's always a distant. There's a gap between what a Jedi is and who I am. But all of us here can identify with all of these people, even the Imperial officers, because we've worked at jobs or you've been in school situations where, you know, there's somebody in charge and you're the inferior to their superior. And so these are elements of human relationships and societal relationships where it doesn't take really any imagination. I mean, we've participated in it. Even this new group of people, when we first moved to Georgia, the three of you were new kids at school. Yeah. And it's that feeling of being the new kid. And are you going to be accepted? And what friends are you going to have? What people are looking at you kind of weird, like, oh, this is an outsider. Who is this guy?
And for them, it comes down to survival, too. It's like, you know, I'm putting my life in this guy's hands.
Correct.
And you really feel that. And I feel like the political tension, I think, is bringing a reality to the Empire and to the rebellion. You know, because when you watch the original Star Wars movies, there's a lot more of a heroic, like, valor. We're gonna save the day and stop the Empire, which is obviously great in its own way. But this is bringing also, I think, the real side that I remember the Clone Wars kind of hit at a lot really well. The reality of what some of these senators had to go through, and the transactions, and the people being hired, and the dirty work, the dirty stuff that allows people to, you know, for the rebellion to happen. It's a lot of the real gritty stuff, the sacrifices that people had to make, and the way that people really risk their lives.
You also see it on the other side where you have these officers, right, who are trying to be in charge, and we're gonna find the rebellion, and then you have these workers that do see the threat, and they're very smart. Like, I know we were annoyed by that officer that went after Andor, but he was not wrong.
Right.
We were excited because, you know, we were rooting for
Andor,
underdog, and we were like, oh, we don't want him to get caught. But in the end, he really had some
good intuition.
To him,
yeah, you're
intuition. Right. And this girl too, like she sees right through what's going on, and no one from the upper ranks really want to listen, and they're kind of like they're in charge, but they're just unaware of everything.
It's that pride,
the pride
level
of ego.
Pride. We talk about that so much, even with the Jedi Council and pride. It doesn't matter. Imperial officer, Jedi Council. If you just get too proud and too cozy with the power you think you have, you're in trouble.
What's after you?
Yeah. So there's a true treasure to those characters. I don't remember their names, and it's killing me.
Yeah, I know. I hate
that. What a great sequence where we feel his loneliness, leading him in this small. He's this small figure in this giant frame of buildings and structures and ragged lines. And then he lands to the slap of his mother. He's being sent home to mommy. Wow. Humbling. Can you say humbling?
I don't think we're going to see him again, honestly.
You think that's the end?
Yeah, I think
I'm curious because you're bringing up a good point. I feel like they're really hitting at, like, these regular people in the galaxy that are just doing their jobs. You know, and just, you know,
not every Imperial person dies when the Death Star blows up.
Right. And they're not all malicious, like, intentful, like, I mean, intentionally greedy, and, like,
I think it creates this, like, veil of, like, empathy that we just have to connect with these characters as opposed to feeling like we know them and that we know what they're going to do and knowing what decision they're supposed to make. I think it really creates a very healthy distance between these, and just meeting these people in this Star Wars setting, not in story, you know. So I think just really seeing the story unfold, very character driven, very just so real in the setting of the galaxy, is just so awesome. And I think it's incredible. I think there's so many stakes, there's so many heightened stakes, especially because they don't have lightsabers. They don't.
Right.
You know, they're not Jedi.
I mean, even with Mando, there's a level of he's Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He can handle himself. But this is like, they're just...
And he has a baby that can use the Force. Like,
right.
It's so distant from that it's so raw and so gritty. So it's just, it's beautiful.
You bring up setting, and I think about our 7... we can't call them a team yet. I don't know. There are 7 individuals trying to make this steel on the garrison, but they're nestled in the mountains, and there's a strange coziness with the fire and the tents, and they got the goats or the rams
until the TIE fighters, you know.
Yeah, and there's a sense of like, I kind of wish I was there and in the outdoors, and yet I don't want to be there with them because they're so nervous and tense, and there's so much at stake.
Yeah,
it's this great mix of a great use of setting is what I'm trying to say.
And you could tell why that guy got so mad when he arrived, because he had been living there for 7 years. I think they've been planning this thing for a long time, and just to add somebody 5 days before the mission, after living there for 7 years and trying to like seeing how all of this goes, like that's a lot to just add a person.
And that's him with 7 years, but even everyone else, I think they've been there 5 months or so.
Yeah.
That's still 5 months. And then you're 5 days out from the mission and you add somebody new. Oh my gosh.
And I love the duality to Luthen's character with like him being, it's just so...
I can't wait
it's
for the
so
next
good.
episode.
We cannot wait for the next episode. There were some Easter eggs in that antique store, like little things.
Yeah.
It looks like I remember the Wills, their faces from the Clone Wars. I could be wrong. You guys could let us know in the comments what was in there. There was that one suit that reminded me of Starkiller. I'm not sure if I'm right about that too, because it looks different.
But that armor is kind of like the same pattern as like, you know, the Mandalorians and also maybe the Stormtrooper things. But I think that was definitely, it looked definitely like Beskar in a way.
Yeah, there is the other one.
But I think, like I said, I feel like having such real people walking in the setting of the galaxy of Star Wars, I think it takes away the aspect of just like this big thing and makes it really grounded. And it makes us appreciate the world of Star Wars, not necessarily the characters and the Jedi and the Sith, which are great to admire. Yeah. Right, but not just that, but to be able to just bask and to, you know...
in the glory of...
immerse ourselves into the setting of Star Wars.
Yeah, man, it's so great. And yeah, we love this episode, and we can't wait to get into the next one. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our reaction. We want to hear your thoughts down below about this episode in the comments. What you thought, what your theories are, what little things you noticed, what you're loving about the show, which characters are affecting you the most, and maybe if you don't, what you're not liking. We'd love to hear all of it and connect with all of you in the comments. And if you enjoy what we're doing here on this channel, you guys can check out our Patreon with the link in the description or this card up above, where you can find out more as to how you can support this channel, what we're doing here at MaJeliv, and specifically as well as our creative projects that we are creating as a family of artists and actors. For those of you that don't know, we are a family of actors and artists that work in the TV and film industry, and we just love to create our own original content as well. And your support monthly on there will help us to hire an editor for this channel, as well as fund the creative projects that we are creating on our creative channel. So if that's something you guys want to be a part of and you want to help us achieve the goals that we have for MaJeliv, for this channel, and for all the things that we want to produce, you guys can check out those 2 links. But besides that, go out there, spread your light, and we'll see you guys in the next MaJeliv video. Have a MaJeliv day. Bye.